that's what it is, and it was just a medley of all those cutscenes, so they didn't leave anything out. So now everybody's caught up to speed. What we need to do is we need to get caught up to speed with what's going on with StarCraft Universe. So we have on the line Ryan Winzen of Upheaval Arts. He's been working hard at the StarCraft Universe MMO mod for what we've been playing in StarCraft 2. Ryan, how's it going?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, we're all right out here. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I just want to say before we start that I think what you guys are doing is freaking awesome. We need more gaming coverage in the Midwest. We need to bring more people to the gaming scene in the Midwest, and that's what I'm all about. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, so good on you guys.
Hey, that's amazing. That's when we started One Life to Play. That's one of the things that we were really focused on. We always see games out on the West Coast. They're trying to bring it to the East Coast, but we think we have a great science and arts foundation here in the Midwest, and we really want to showcase the developers and even the gamers who make this industry possible in the amount of space that we've been taking up over the past decade and even before that. So we really appreciate you. You joining us tonight, taking the time out to talk to us a little bit about what you've been getting into, and hey, we're gonna bullshit for the rest of the night too. So you're good with that, right?
Oh yeah, sounds good, man. I'm down to hang out.
So I mean, to start off, a lot of people kind of don't know who you are. They know you as Creation. They know you as the guy who threw the Blizzard logo on his mod, made ticked Blizzard off to high heaven a couple years ago. So Ryan, what is your specific role with Upheaval Arts in exactly working on this StarCraft Universe mod?
So my primary role on this project is basically I'm the project manager and I'm the creative director on the project. I push things forward and I do a lot of the legwork for organizing and just the actual creation and design of everything in general. So it's a very, very small team of people. We only have myself and one other guy working directly on the programming.
Oh, wow.
And then we've got about 11 other intermediate contributors on the project that work on it at varying degrees. But only about 2 guys are working on it full time. So it's a very small group.
Oh man, so you're hard at work trying to really get this to come to fruition. The ideal itself, the original idea of StarCraft Universe, making it an MMO, something that you could play to the likes of. To be honest, what I kind of see, I don't only see World of Warcraft in there. I see a lot of Diablo gameplay, especially in the prologue campaign that you've treated us all to. So that's something that you came up with, or how did that idea come to be about and start development on?
All right, so before we move forward, I just want to clear one thing up, and this is something a lot of the gaming media has kind of gotten wrong, is calling it an MMO is just a little bit inaccurate, and a lot of people are coming out saying, oh, this isn't an MMO, blah, blah, and they're right. It's actually more of a multiplayer online RPG or MMORPG, sort of like Diablo. It's an instance-based game where you gather together in lobbies and menus and BattleNet, and then you start something. So it's not going to be massive. There's not going to be thousands of people in one zone playing the game. It's going to be more like 5 to 10 people max in one instance.
So it's not necessarily like a persistent world or anything that we find in World of Warcraft, but like you said, more similar to Diablo 3, picking up a play, joining a group, and getting through some story modes and instances such as raids and dungeons and things like that, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's not persistent world, but it is persistent progression with your characters and whatnot.
Okay.
It's awesome.
So what kind of things can we expect to see from this progression of characters? Like what sort of classes? Can you tell us a little bit about the classes that we can play as, and what will make? I mean, again, you've already stated it's not really MMO, but in World of Warcraft we see Horde, we see Alliance, in StarCraft we see 3 races already. We keep on getting word that there's a 4th one out there. Where are you at with classes in StarCraft Universe?
All right, so in StarCraft Universe, we've got we've got one faction really, 2 different races. We got the Terran and the Protoss, and we've got 4 classes available for each race right now. For the Terran, we have the Marine, the Firebat, the Ghost, and the Medic, and for the Protoss, we have the Zealot, the Dark Templar, the High Templar, and the Preserver, which was a class that was sort of introduced in StarCraft 2, but it's been in the lore for a very long time.
Okay.
As far as how class roles go, a lot of people have been a little bit confused about, what class is what role in StarCraft Universe. Like, is the Zealot a tank? Is the medic actually a healer? And one thing that we've actually tried to do in StarCraft Universe is make it so that the class doesn't necessarily determine your role, but more so what abilities you set to your skill bar determines your role. So each class has about 30 different abilities that they'll be able to acquire between level or ranks 1 through 50, and depending on what abilities you put on your skill bar defines your role and your play style and how you want to play in combat. So in theory, you could have a tanky High Templar or a damage dealing High Templar.
So a little similar to World of Warcraft with the Paladin. It can cross different skill sets, but still be the same character or class in general.
Yeah, it's very similar, but it's even more generalized and more dynamic and free than that is, because even in World of Warcraft they put you in three different types of very varied roles that you could.
Yeah, very linear, very delimited. Yeah.
Right. So this is, it's kind of scary actually doing what we're doing, because Champions Online sort of did it and their game failed miserably. But I probably shouldn't say that on. But whatever.
We got you.
It didn't really do too well, but we've actually changed the way the model is set up so that each class has about 15 different class-specific abilities. So you'll still have abilities that are very specific to your class that other classes won't have access to. So it should prevent things like the flavor of the month from happening. One thing
that's what I was going to get to. That's exactly the word I was going to use. Being that flavor of the month. I mean, giving so much power to the gamer in order to decide exactly what their character does. Does that make it a bit? How hard does that make it on you to make sure that this character is going along with the story and the world that you've created and not stepping outside of those bounds?
Well, all of the abilities that we allocate to each class is very, very definite towards that class. For example, the Firebat's not going to have a water cannon. He's going to have things that are conceptually make sense for his class.
Okay.
So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, when you see that you're able to mix and match different abilities and things like that, I mean, that's great for gamers. It does lend towards some things that maybe on your side for the developers and the story content creators. What would you be doing to make sure that you keep them, quote unquote, in line?
Basically just researching the lore and trying to keep close with the storytelling elements of StarCraft 2. It's all about, I use a term called surrealistic realism, and it's all about applying what the laws are of the world that you're working within to everything that you create. And that's one thing that I've tried very hard to do for each class, so that they make sense no matter what build you decide to pick for your character.
So it's more or less instead of reality, it's the realities.
Exactly.
You got it, P-Double. So that's great. You guys were talking to Ryan Winzen of Upheaval Arts, currently working on the mod for StarCraft Universe, which he has explained to us is not necessarily an MMO. Instead, it's an instance-based
MMORPG.
Role-playing game, instance-based MO. Drop that massive on it, but you are playing with some friends, so I think that's what really strikes gold. You mentioned that you're working with taking a look at the analytics of the game and how gamers and players are responding to it in class roles and also in strategic roles as they're getting through your campaign. One developer that we obviously know, which is related to the StarCraft universe, has been great at doing that when it comes to Diablo and World of Warcraft. That's Blizzard. What kind of assistance are you getting from Blizzard in order to finalize your mod?
Right. So we don't really get, I guess, work assistance directly from Blizzard. We don't work directly with them usually on our game. I am in contact with some of the developers and the people that work at Blizzard for technical reasons. I report bugs directly to them sometimes, but I can't go too much more in detail on that if that's all right.
Okay. I think we may have gotten enough of that, but I still gotta push just a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
We've noticed we have a shot here, LEM, if you could throw that one up there. We have a shot of what we consider in our world potential box art for when you are finalizing StarCraft Universe, and that is leading to what I would think would be the vanilla version of StarCraft Universe being Chronicles of Fate, but we see a Blizzard logo down there. What's going on with that?
Throw that away, man. That was a joke. Free Space. No, seriously, Free Space made that as a joke, and he sent it to me in Skype. And I thought, I just thought the whole thing looked so legit that I thought it would be funny to share it with everybody on Facebook.
Okay, it really does look legit. Like, is this going to be the third release update for the upcoming StarCraft? After this swarm.
No,
that's what I'm saying. We're gonna keep on prodding because if you're talking about the third expansion being after Heart of the Swarm being some sort of Chronicles of Fate iteration in that expansion to expand that StarCraft world universe, we could totally see that happening. So where do you see this really going? Right now, we're calling it a mod. Do you anticipate in the future, hopefully near future, being a full retail version of your StarCraft universe, or where can we anticipate this going? Say by the end of this year, or what do we see StarCraft universe looking like in 2014?
Oh man, it's really hard to tell right now, and I'll tell you honestly why. So I run this whole operation out of my stepdad's basement, and we don't have any funding whatsoever for this thing. We've pretty much been working on this thing for the last 2 years. Everybody who's worked on it is volunteer, and it's not big enough for us to, and we don't have the intellectual property rights to expand it into something big. That definitely falls on Blizzard's shoulders, so you're totally asking the wrong guy when it comes to, hyping this thing up to the point where it's like a full-scale game.
Okay.
We're going to be releasing it more as episodic content over the StarCraft 2 arcade as the arcade progresses into Heart of the Swarm and other things like that. But, as far as Blizzard actually making like a full-on StarCraft Universe MMO, all I can say to you is that when I went to BlizzCon in 2011, I was there with my brother. And
such a long time ago, right?
Yeah, I know. It feels like a long time ago, actually. But, I was there with my brother, and my brother went up to the bar. BlizzCon had just got out, like it was after hours. It was like 12:30, and my brother went up to the bar in the hotel that we were staying at. And it was like huge after party. Everybody was in costumes, dressed up, and everything. And Chris Metzen walked in the door, and he, you know who Chris Metzen is, right? He's like the lead storyteller.
He's lead software developer, right?
He's like the lead storyteller for most of the StarCraft, for World of Warcraft. He's one of their lead writers, and he used to do a lot of the art back in the days of Warcraft 2. But he went up to the bar, and my brother was there, and my brother said something to him like, "Hey, my brother's working on this game, blah blah blah." And Chris Metzen looked at my brother and he said, "I want to make that mod." So there's some desire with people that work at Blizzard to create something like that at some point. Most definitely.
So where are the handcuffs actually at? Obviously, I understand what your relationship with them is and what you're trying to create with using their assets and their IP. But what's really the handcuff? What has been that handcuff over at Blizzard to where things like a creation of such a great no other way to say it, but a great experience in the StarCraft world in general. What's handcuffing Blizzard from stepping on your shoes, to so to speak?
Do you mean what's handcuffing them from creating like the actual legitimate thing? Okay, so probably the fact that they have, I don't know, I'd say they probably got like 70% of the Blizzard workforce works on World of Warcraft alone. I'm not sure if that's true to this day anymore, but you know they're working on this Titan project, right? Have you guys heard about this?
Yeah, we heard about it. I was gonna get to that a couple months. I've been prodding my contacts over at Blizzard to release something exactly of what's going on with that. But
Yeah, they said that they're supposed to make some big announcement at PAX this year, some sort of extra special announcement, and I don't know if they're gonna talk about it or not. But I know it's not World of StarCraft. I mean, at least I don't think so. I feel like somebody would have dropped me a hidden message from Blizzard by now and been like, "Hey, dude, you're wasting your time."
and kind of that's where my question was leading to. It's just like what's really stopping Blizzard from making this and just stepping all over the work that you've put into it and them just doing it themselves versus kind of just sitting back and doing something different. And when like you bring it up, I think of the Titan project. I can't think of anything other than making World of Warcraft available on a console. That's the only thing I can really think of when you talk about something that Blizzard could do different than they haven't thought of doing yet. But then with the release of, or the announcement that Diablo 3 would be releasing on consoles, PS3 and PS4, it kind of throws that out the window. And the only thing I can lean back on now when I hear Titan is with StarCraft.
Well, I think you're wrong, honestly, and here's why. Activision, didn't buy out Blizzard, but they merged with Blizzard.
Yeah.
And Activision has a lot of other titles, a lot of other intellectual property, and a lot of other assets. I think that Activision merged with one of Blizzard's departments, and they're working on something else, something new.
Oh.
It might be something fresh. I don't know. It might be something not fresh. I've heard rumors it could be a Halo MMO. I've heard all kinds of different rumors, but nobody really knows for sure.